Welcome back to the Chris Gates Fitness Podcast. Thanks so much for being here. And I'm excited to dive into one of the exclusive resources, the exclusive pieces of content that's available to members of my online fitness membership called Training Camp. If you missed last week's episode, I would highly recommend that you listen to it because last week I launched my online fitness membership called Training Camp. And we got a lot of people signing up, getting in there, getting into the workout programs, participating in Q&As, doing a lot of fun stuff already. And if you want to be part of it, there's just a few days left, okay? But what I'm going to run today in the podcast episode is my course that all members get on how to set up your nutrition. So what I'm going to do in this episode is really dive deep into multiple ways that you can set up your diet based on your fitness goals. And I'm going to walk you through basically three different variations going from the easiest to set up to the most detailed. And it kind of goes in levels of effort. But with the levels of effort, the more effort that you put into the starting point to your diet, the more precise it can be and the more effective it can be to get you to the goals that you have. Okay, so this is going to walk you through three different ways that you can set up your diet. Each one, I'm going to give you all the details so that you know exactly how to do it, and it should set you off on your journey here to make a ton of progress. And like I said, this is just one of the courses that's available in Training Camp. There's 4 different modules that are available in Training Camp right now to members, as well as a ton of other stuff. And before we get into this module, this course on how to set up your nutrition, there are only a few days left to sign up for Training Camp and get your first month for 80% off, okay? That offer ends on Sunday. And I got to stress to you, like, that's $10. That is almost free. The monthly cost is only $50, which is like 90% cheaper than what personal training in the gym costs for an entire month. Okay, so Training Camp is already a huge steal. There's already more value and resources and support packed into Training Camp than you're going to get anywhere else. So it's an unbelievable deal, but I'm doing this discount here at the launch of Training Camp to let as many people get in there and check it out as possible. So you can sign up for $10, get in there, check it out. And I really think you're going to be blown away by everything that you get and the community that we've developed. You're going to get a new workout program every month. Just launched the August program today. So the day that I'm publishing this episode, August 1st, we released a brand new workout program in Training Camp. So everybody's diving into the August program now. We have a robust exercise library, hundreds of exercise tutorials that walk you through every specific exercise that we do in every program ever. And also when you sign up, you not only get access to the program we're doing right now, but you get access to all of the programs that we've ever done. So you get tons and tons and tons of resources from an exercise standpoint. You also get nutritional guidance because we do live Q&As, we do live streams in our private Facebook group every single month. And those are recorded as well. So you can ask any questions. It could be about diet, it could be about exercise, it could be about anything. And we dive into the details of it to help you reach your health and fitness goals and get the support that you need. We have challenges every month, and we're about to kick up a couple of them here in the next couple of weeks. We're going to do some weekly football pick'em throughout the football season, which is going to be a lot of fun. And we're also going to hit a step count challenge in the month of September, and are going to be giving away prizes for those things as well. So there's lots of fun stuff that we haven't even necessarily started yet, but it's coming real soon. And like I said, you can sign up right now for 80% off. That's just $10. And I would highly encourage you to do so. So there's a link in the show notes in the description to this episode, this podcast episode. Head over to my website, check out Training Camp. Going to get a lot of information about what is involved in the program, what you get, the benefits of it, all that good stuff. And if you use the code CGF10, like Chris Gates Fitness, CGF10, you will get your first month for $10. Okay. And if all of that didn't entice you enough, then you're going to listen to really, really detailed and helpful information about how to set up your diet right now. So let's get into that module. I hope to see you in Training Camp, and I hope this helps. What's up, Training Camp? Welcome to module number 3. In this module, we're going to talk all about how to set up and calculate your calories based on your specific goals. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of information here about how to set up your nutrition. I hope you find it helpful. As always, if you have any questions about the details in these lessons, feel free to post those in the private Facebook group, and myself and the rest of the community can help you out in figuring out how to get started. In this specific lesson, I want to talk to you and give you an overview of how to set up your calories, what formulas I like to use, and just give you a variety of options to kind of set things up based on you specifically in whatever way you see fit and in whatever way you think is going to be the easiest and most efficient. Now, I will say before I dive into any of the nitty-gritty or the finer details on how to set up nutrition, the calorie calculator is there for you, okay? So in the additional resources section of the members only page, you'll be able to find a download for the calorie calculator, which allows you to just input a few basic pieces of information about yourself, and that will allow you to set up your calories based on, whether you want to lose weight, if you want to build muscle, if you want to maintain. And it'll give you targets for your macronutrients as well. So your protein, your carbs, and your fats. And honestly, for the vast majority of people, that's going to put you in a really good starting position. Now, obviously, once you get rolling and you evaluate your progress and you see how your body's responding to things, you may find that you need to tweak and make adjustments. There will be a future module on how to tweak things and make adjustments, and you can look out for that. But the calorie calculator is going to give you a really good starting point. So make sure you at least download that and give it a try. Beyond that, I'll give you maybe some more targeted details based on how you could set up your diet. So the calorie calculator is the easiest, right? That's the easiest way to set up your nutrition. The next, that's maybe a bit more detailed, but still pretty easy, are some of these other basic equations you can use. So here are a few that you can write down or just try to remember that can benefit you both now and in the future based on your goals and how they may change. So an easy way to set up your diet, set up your calories based on your goals is, if you want to lose weight, take your goal body weight and multiply it by 12. Now, whatever that number is, that's how many calories you should eat a day, okay? Very simple. Your goal body weight times 12 is going to be what you eat for weight loss. If you take that goal body weight and multiply it by 15, that's going to give you a maintenance calorie number that, give or take, should allow you to eat whatever that number is and maintain your body weight. Okay. And then if you want to gain weight, and by that I mean put on lean mass, so build muscle, take your goal body weight, multiply it by 16 or more if you want to, but 16 is normally a good number. Whatever that number is should put you in a calorie surplus and help you build muscle, because you'll be eating more calories than your body burns. And I'm going to go into more details in one of the next lessons in this module about what a calorie deficit is, what a calorie surplus is, what maintenance calories are, just to help you get better information and details and knowledge about what these terms mean and how they apply to what your goals may be. But those basic equations are also, kind of like the next step up in terms of like your effort level and the work that you have to put in to figure out how to set up your diet. But they're very simple equations, right? So body weight times 12 for weight loss, body weight times 15 for maintenance, body weight times 16 or more for a calorie surplus. So that's option number 2. Option number 3, and this is where the effort level again takes a step up, but what's important to understand is the more effort that you put into this, as your effort level increases, normally what that's going to mean is you're getting more specific. So the numbers that you're generating for your diet, for the starting point of your diet, are going to get potentially more accurate because of the level of detail that you're going into. So this third option, the effort level goes up again, but the third option is to track your nutrition for at least 2 weeks without changing anything, okay? And that's often hard to do, number one, because, tracking involves effort. And if you've never tracked nutrition before, again, I'm going to have a module ready for you on that so that you can, learn about how to track your nutrition and be able to figure out that process. It's, from my experience of years of coaching people, the fastest and most efficient way to make sure that you know how many calories are coming in, what your macros look like, and that makes it unbelievably easy to figure out what tweaks or adjustments, if any, you need to make in order to make the progress that you want to. So I like to recommend, and again, this is the next step up in effort level, track your diet for at least 2 weeks minimum without changing anything about the way that you eat. And that the other difficulty, in addition to it just being, some extra work you have to put in, is a lot of times when people start tracking their nutrition, they change their diet. So the reason I don't want you to change anything is because if you can track honestly the way that you eat right now, then a couple weeks of doing that is going to give you a very detailed look into what your weekly averages are in terms of calories and protein and the other macronutrients, and even your daily averages in terms of how many calories you tend to eat on a daily basis. Stuff like that is really helpful data that's going to inform and help you understand how you got to the point where you're at right now. And since you have that big bucket of data on you and on your diet, it's also going to make it unbelievably easy to start to figure out what you need to do to move in the right direction. So if you find out you're eating 3,000 calories a day, but your goal is weight loss, well, then you could probably pretty easily knock a few hundred calories off of that, continue tracking, and see how your body responds over the next 2 weeks. Or if you want to build muscle, you struggle to have an appetite, and you're only eating 1,800 calories a day, and that's what you find out from 2 weeks of tracking and looking at the averages, then that can help you understand that, okay, well, if I just try to hit 2,000 calories a day, that'll mean I'm eating a little bit more per day. And across the week, that means I'm eating, what's 200 times 7, 1,400 calories more for the week. And that could really start to move the needle in the right direction that way. So again, more effort, right? But it's more exact, it's more detailed. And so that's going to help you, get a really good idea of your current state, what your starting point is, and what type of adjustments that you should make. So those are the three options. The calorie calculator is the easiest because it's already set up for you. And a lot of these equations I'm talking about are kind of built into the back end of that calculator. Option number 2 is those basic equations I ran you through. And then option number 3 is going to be tracking for at least 2 weeks and being honest about it, right? Now, the last thing I want to do in this lesson is talk to you about some of the finer points of okay, we understand how to set up calories, but what makes up those calories? So your macronutrients, protein, carbs, and fats, those, when added together, are going to add up to your daily calorie total. And not everybody knows that. So, 1 gram of carbohydrates is equal to 4 calories. 1 gram of protein is equal to 4 calories. 1 gram of fat is equal to 9 calories, right? So fat, from a calorie standpoint, adds up quicker than does protein and carbs. Pretty interesting information, basic information from the nutrition standpoint that most people should know. Also, alcohol, 1 gram of alcohol comes with about 7 calories. So good information for you to know. And based on that information, there are some recommendations I have. So when you set up how many calories you're going to eat, how to figure out the amount of those macronutrients that you should eat. So generally speaking, the place I like to start is with protein. And where I normally start people is the calorie calculator does this for you. Taking your height in centimeters, and then whatever that number is, that's how many grams of protein you should eat a day. So I think I'm around 180 centimeters tall, so my protein goal tends to be 180 grams of protein, regardless of if I'm trying to build muscle or burn fat or whatever, right? I found that that's a really effective way to set protein targets for most people. There are other options like, whatever your body weight is, try to eat that many grams of protein. But what I've found is that for a lot of people, especially if you're very overweight or obese, maybe you're 300 pounds, do you really need to be eating 300 grams of protein because you're 300 pounds? But what if you're 5'10"? well, we found that like at a certain point, that much protein actually maybe tends to be overkill, and you don't need to force feed yourself with that much protein. So I like to take the centimeters approach. Neither approach is necessarily right or wrong, but the centimeter approach is the one that I've found to be the most effective. So that's where I normally start. And then whatever that, so back to what I talked about with like how many grams equals how many calories. With protein, 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories. So however many grams of protein that you're going to eat, if you multiply that by 4, it's going to tell you how many calories from protein you're eating. Helpful information, right? So you have that. And if you know what your goal number is in terms of calories, you just set up how many calories from protein that you're going to eat. The next place I like to go is setting fats. Now, it's going to vary for men and women. Generally speaking, I like to see men eat around 25% of their daily calories from fat. Women tends to be higher, more in like the 35-ish% range. And it's going to vary for each person. So I'm not telling you to eat exactly that. Some people do better on higher numbers. Some people do better on lower numbers. But in general, fats are actually very important from an overall health perspective. They play into a lot of what happens with your hormone levels and being able to maintain healthy hormone levels. So getting enough fat is important. And so those percentages are some baseline numbers I like to use in terms of setting up how much fat to eat a day. And again, so if you're going to do 25% of your calories coming from fat, what you would do is take that overall calorie number, and then whatever 25% of that is would be the calories that you eat from fat. So if it's 2,000 calories that you're eating, 25% of that would be 500 calories. And if we know that 1 gram of fat comes with 9 calories, then you can take 500, divide it by 9, and that will tell you how many grams of fat to be eating a day. Hopefully that makes sense. I know, again, we're talking about effort level. Effort level is continuing to go up here. We're getting into more of the weeds. You don't necessarily need to do any of this on your own. This last part here is just, beneficial information for you to have. So then, okay, we've set up protein, we've set up fats. The last thing to do is your carbohydrates, and really whatever I do is whatever the rest of those available calories are, they get allocated to carbs. So we figured out how many calories from protein, figure out how many calories from fat, you add those two together, and however much distance you have, let's say those add up to 1,500, or I don't know, and then you're trying to eat 2,000 calories, that means you have 500 calories left over for carbohydrates. So really, it's whatever is left over goes to carbs. And that's how, you can set things up. And again, the calorie calculator takes care of a lot of that for you. But hopefully that's helpful information for you to have. So that's going to wrap up this lesson. Hopefully you are able to have some takeaways here to figure out how to set up your nutrition. And you could choose any of those methods. Really, the calorie calculator is going to be a fast, quick, easy, and efficient way to get started. But hopefully you found this module helpful. Looking forward to talking to you again in the next one.